Welcome to Q2's Planning for Growth webinar. It's great having you with us here today. For those of you who have not met me before, my name is Anne Cooper-Smith. I'm the Director and CEO at Q2 and today's presenter. Q2 Limited are a boutique firm of business strategists and chartered accountants, and we are passionate about helping business owners achieve their business and financial goals. Our brand Q2 refers to Stephen Covey's Quadrant 2, that is, doing what's important but not necessarily urgent. Check it out on our website, which is q2.net.nz, if you're not familiar with what Q2 means or the Q2 story. Q2 has a diverse range of business clients, and our clients include one-man band businesses as well as much larger businesses employing 20 or more staff. Some of our clients are startup, and some of them are long-established businesses who've been in business for 50 years or more. The one thing that all our clients have in common is a drive to improve, to make good business decisions, and to become financially successful. Our services are as diverse as our client mix, and we help our clients in a range of different ways. But our most successful clients work with us closely on things such as business planning, problem solving, cash flow improvement, tax planning, business structures, and of course, we provide annual accounting and tax services to all our business clients. Before I get started, I just wanted to mention that we have some capacity to take on new clients. But before we do so, we would want to ensure we are a good fit. Therefore, we welcome the opportunity to have a conversation about business and financial goals and aspirations, as well as how we may be able to assist, perhaps with you or someone you know. So please get in touch if you would like to discuss how we may be able to help. Let's start with some wise words from the session from Thomas Jefferson, who's the third president of the USA. And he said, if you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. These words were written over 230 years ago, and they're as true today as they were then. This session today is about challenging you to do something different in your business so that you can get results that you never achieved before. However, we all know that change is challenging, and times at the moment are certainly challenging, and often the status quo is easier until we make a conscious choice that we need to change something. I understand that Xero recently ran a survey asking whether or not businesses wanted to grow, and surprisingly, a significant number said no. Now, I suspect that they were confusing growth with complexity. And if the survey had asked those same businesses whether they wanted to increase their profits and cash flow, then I'm sure the overwhelming majority would probably have said yes. And this is what this webinar is about today, improving your outcomes and results without adding complexity. If you don't want to invest some effort today to improve the outcomes in your business, then you may as well leave this webinar now. But since you signed up for this webinar, I know that isn't you. You're one of the minority who really want to improve and do the necessary work to make some positive changes in your business. I'm sure you're aware that some of the information in this webinar is very general in nature, and it's no substitute for tailored advice that's specific to your particular circumstances. So if you're in doubt, do please contact us to discuss any questions that you may have. Now, I'm not sure about you, but if I don't take notes when I attend a webinar like this, then I don't retain the information for very long. And that's why I always take notes, and lots of them. One of the biggest problems in a small business is FTI, or failure to implement. And if you don't take notes and write down the actions you're going to take, you won't remember them when you get busy on the next project. Just like if you don't write down your business goals for the next year, you'll be far less likely to achieve them. We want you to get maximum value from this webinar today. So if you have any questions, please submit them at any time. And we'll cover how you will need to make a choice to change and how to develop a roadmap and a dashboard for your business. Then we'll get into the different ways to improve your business without making your business more complex. And I'll show you a worked example which demonstrates how you can make seemingly small adjustments to your business, but the compound effect on the bottom line and cash flow can be very significant. Then it's accountability time, when you have to decide what action you're going to take as a result of coming along today. If you have any questions during the webinar, then send them through and we'll make sure that they're answered privately to you after the webinar. We've been through a lot recently. The world is quite a different place now than it was 12 months ago. Some of the changes will not be long lasting, and hopefully COVID will be in that category, but other changes will be permanent, especially changes around how, when, and where we work. It's likely you know that you need to make some changes in your business, and some of those changes may have been coming for a while because your business has not been performing as well as it could. But other changes may be in response to the environment that we now find ourselves in. But change won't just happen on its own. We have to make the choice to change. You're in control of how you respond to the recent crises, as well as to the changing business environment. And there are generally 5 steps in the process. And the first step is being aware that you do need to change. It's unlikely your business has been able to continue as normal over the past 12 months, and changes may need to be made to ensure that you adapt and remain profitable and efficient. The next step is to accept that you do need to change. It may not be easy, but the alternative of not changing won't be easy either. And the outcomes of not changing are likely to be more negative than accepting change. We all know what happened to the dinosaurs and Kodaks and BlackBerry. So once you've accepted change is needed, you need to take some action. What steps do you need to take to enable the change? Now, most people get stuck here. They may take immediate action while they're in crisis mode, but once the crisis has abated, they revert to the status quo once again, and then that means that they're missing the opportunity to make lasting changes to their business. And to make sure that you do take action, accountability is required. Being challenged and held accountable by someone independent really does make things happen. And having a written plan and sharing that plan kicks off the accountability process. And then finally, take the time to acknowledge the change and improvements that you have actioned. Take your team on the journey with you and give positive reinforcements as different milestones are reached. Now, before you make a plan from where you want your business to go, you must first understand where the business is right now, and that's your point A. The impact of COVID-19 means it's likely that you're further away from your destination than you would have been. So point B may be harder to get to now. It's likely your original plan, point B, is still possible, but it may just take longer to get there, or the route to get there might look a little bit different. So for example, before COVID, perhaps your point A may have been $50,000 overdraft, for example, and your goal was to reach point B of having 50,000 cash in the bank within 12 months. So you'd have to increase your bank account by $100,000 to move from point A to point B. But what does your point A in your business look like now? Maybe you've had to extend your overdraft by another $25,000 to cover your expenses during the lockdowns. So point A is now a $75,000 overdraft. And the journey to get to point B is increasing the cash in your bank account by $125,000 now. So it might be more realistic to aim to reach point B in, say, 18 or 24 months instead of the original 12 months. So do you know what your point A looks like in your business right now? And what is your goal for point B? And what does the journey look like to get there? Once you know where you are as a result of COVID and other changes, and you know where you want to go, then you need to revise your plan. Now, this could be reviewing and updating your existing business plan, or it could be developing a business recovery plan, which has much more detail. If the COVID impact on your business has been minimal, it's likely that an update of your business plan would be the best option, taking into account the changes in the business environment and how to optimize them. If your business or industry has been significantly impacted, then we recommend a business recovery plan or updating your business recovery plan if you already have one. And this will help you revise your personal budget to reduce the pressure on your business's cash flow, determine whether any additional finance is needed, and revise your business budget and break-even analysis. Perhaps even you might be one of the lucky business owners and your business has been positively impacted by COVID, in which case your plan will be about how to maximize the outcomes and scale up the business model. We'll also establish your most critical KPIs to monitor at this time and identify opportunities, vulnerabilities, and critical challenges. You'll then identify risks and opportunities in each department of your business, as well as mitigation strategies, and then set an annual and 90-day goals to ensure that you achieve your plan. When working out your budget, start with the profit that you need your business to deliver to you, and then work your way up to determine the required sales level. So, for example, in the past, $150,000 might have been your target profit for your business. And to deliver what you wanted over and above your working salary, of course, to you as profit. But being in lockdown may have shown that you can live on less. So after revising your personal budget, you may be able to reduce your profit target by a little bit, say down from $150,000 down to $130,000 in the short term, so that you can reduce the pressure on your business. Now, your overheads were previously $350,000, but after leaving no stone unturned when reviewing your expenses under COVID, perhaps you were able to trim this down to $325,000. So that means that your gross profit previous target was $500,000, but now your target is $455,000, which is your profit plus your overheads. If you want to keep our gross profit percentage at, say, 39%, then we would need to achieve sales of 1.166667. While this is less than our previous target of 1.282000, we may have to have a brutal look at our expenses to ensure our goal is attainable in the current climate. Of course, you'll need to develop these financials in more detail, and then you'll need to break this down into monthly targets and monitor these to make sure that you'll be on track and stay on track. Now, alternatively, as I mentioned earlier, you may be in an industry that is now going gangbusters because of low interest rates, a shortage of housing, record new building consents, and consumers redeploying money that was previously allocated to overseas travel to home renovations, buying caravans, boats, motorbikes, holiday homes, and so on. So if you're in an industry that is going particularly well, then your profit B target might be significantly higher than the previous profit target A, in which case you'll need to budget for potentially higher overheads, working capital, and increased gross profit and sales. And in that scenario, you may need to look at how you will finance your increased need for working capital. Now you know where you're going and what you want to achieve. It's time to set up your dashboard. The dashboard on your car shows you how fast you're going, how much fuel you have left, and the temperature of your engine. And it also gives you an indication about whether or not you're going to make it to your destination. Well, it's the same in business. The things on your business dashboards are key performance indicators, or KPIs for short. Essentially, they're the key measures that will tell you if you're on track to achieving your plan. And your dashboard should show top 4 or 5 measures which drive most of your business improvement. Focusing on a small number of KPIs allows you to capture, monitor, report, and improve them on a regular basis. Your most important KPIs will depend on the type of business that you have, as well as your goals. So, for example, if you're a manufacturer, your KPIs might be things like gross profit percentage, the cost of rework, work in progress days, and perhaps your debtors days, which is how long it takes to collect your debt. But if you're a retailer, your KPIs might be, say, daily or weekly sales, your gross profit percentage, the average customer spend, and perhaps the transaction frequency. So it's important you determine which KPIs you should be measuring for your business and set goals for their improvement and establish a dashboard to regularly monitor how you're progressing and how your KPIs are improving. And when you set goals, do you have someone to hold you accountable for what you committed to? What are the consequences for you if you don't achieve your goals? And do you have a soft coach or a hard coach? Remember before we talked about the 5 A's of change, and one of them was accountability. You simply must have someone hold you accountable for your actions, and there should also be consequences for inaction. And having your spouse hold you accountable generally doesn't work very well because, let's face it, independence is key. To summarize, if your business is a vehicle that delivers to you what you need in life, then the top 4 things that you need to do to make sure that you get to your destination are, firstly, set an annual plan. Secondly, set an annual budget. Thirdly, set and measure your most important 4 or 5 KPIs. And finally, have somebody independent hold you accountable. And it's that simple, those 4 things, or that difficult, depending on how you look at it. Now, before we get started drilling into the different ways to improve your business, it's important for you to understand the marketing flywheel. And this concept shows how to attract, engage, delight customers. And it demonstrates that you shouldn't just focus on gaining new customers, but then you have to focus on delighting your existing and current customers. So first we have strangers in the business, and these are people who haven't heard about our business. We can do some marketing to introduce our business to these strangers, who will then become prospects, who have the opportunity to buy. And when those prospects make a purchase, they become our customers. And if we treat them right, those customers will become our promoters. And the more promoters we have, the more people we have to speak to strangers about our business. And so the cycle continues. Now, in order to attract prospects to our business, we need to provide value before we extract value. Think about what they'll get from doing business with you and the problems that you can solve for them. To convert prospects into customers, we must engage with them by making it as easy as possible for them to buy from us. And marketing is what attracts and engages prospects and turns them into customers. And our sales processes should delight customers and ensure they continue to be engaged and followed up with really good service. Delighted customers will share their feedback with strangers, creating more prospects and customers and promoters. So this level of service that we provide determines how we delight and attract current and future customers. And the aim of the marketing flywheel is to keep it spinning as fast as possible, converting more strangers into prospects and prospects into customers, and providing such good service to those customers that they become promoters for us. And following this process is essential to growing your business, as every business needs to replenish its customer base and the quality of that customer base. Now, while there's lots of different tactics to grow your business, There are just 7 main growth strategies, and these growth strategies work for tiny sole one-person businesses as well as for global corporates. And all these strategies are important, but depending on your industry and your business situation, some will be more important at this time than others. So let's have a look at those 7 different business improvement and growth strategies. The first way to grow or improve your business profitability is to increase your customer retention rate. Now at Q2, we call this putting the plug in the bath. If you want to fill a bathtub, you need to put the plug in before you turn on the tap. And in business, it's much cheaper to make sales to existing customers. And in fact, statistics show that it's at least 6 times easier and cheaper to make sales to existing customers than it is to attract new customers. By delighting our existing customers, we make them want to return, therefore increasing our customer retention rate. So what do you do to delight your customers? Follow the FGG principle to delight your customers. The FGG stands for find out what they want, go get it, and then give it to them. Now, sadly, many business owners take their existing customers for granted and give them average service while chasing those elusive new customers who may often turn out to be price-driven tire kickers. Those businesses have turned on the tap, but they'll never get their bathtub full because they haven't learned how to put the plug in the bath first. Now, the second way to grow your business profitability is to generate more leads. And the best way to generate more leads is to delight your customers so that they become promoters, referrers, and provide you with more leads. But you can't purely rely on your existing customers to do your marketing for you. So you must attract strangers using your marketing strategies and by providing value. This value might be perhaps, say, a free download on your website, or a free how-to video, a free trial of your product, a free consultation. Perhaps it's getting to know them or you through networking or cold calling. Perhaps it's by providing value via education or providing them with information. Google advertising and traditional marketing, social media promotions, and other marketing tools should focus on showing your prospects the problems that you'll solve if they engage you in a service or if they buy your product. But generating new leads can be very time-consuming and expensive, and it's a growth strategy that many businesses focus on, and unfortunately sometimes with very poor results. The third way to grow your business profitability is to increase your conversion rate. Do you measure how successful you are at converting leads, quotes, and proposals into sales? Do you regularly review why you aren't converting more? Astonishingly, some businesses do not systematically follow up their quotes and leads in a timely fashion. Now, this is simply madness, as each quote and lead has cost significant time and money to generate, and not proactively following this up is just pure waste. You should be monitoring the conversion rates of all the members of your sales team, and for many SMEs, everyone in the business is in sales. If some are performing better than others, find out why. What are they doing differently? Are you using the right people in the sales process? And do you have an automated follow-up process? Or is it ad hoc and reliant on each person's commitment and personal organization? Do your sales team perhaps need some sales training? The key to successfully converting sales is to ensure that you're dealing with the decision maker. Don't deal with gatekeepers and get straight to the people who can make things happen and make decisions. You should also offer a range of options so that the question becomes, which option should I buy, rather than should I buy? But don't give people too many options, or the decision to buy becomes too difficult and they'll walk away. The fourth way to improve business profitability is to increase transaction frequency. As I said earlier, it's much harder to sell to new customers than it is to sell to existing customers. So to make sense, it makes sense to encourage existing customers to buy more from you and more often. You can do this. Sorry, I'll start there bit again, the slide. The fourth way to improve business profitability is to increase transaction frequency. As I said earlier, it's much harder to sell to new customers than it is to sell to existing customers. So it makes sense to encourage existing customers to buy from you more often. And you can do this by sending service reminders or product updates, introducing VIP cards, offering special deals to existing customers, or simply booking your next service when you complete the current one. For businesses who routinely service their customers, this strategy is a no-brainer. So try putting your customers onto a service plan of some type so that the transaction frequency is agreed in advance and systemized. The fifth business growth strategy is to increase the transaction value. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean increasing your prices, but think about how you could add more value to your customers without incurring a lot more cost. Could you provide them with a range of options? Or could you provide a higher value option? Is it clear all the services and products that your business offers? Don't assume that they already know. Tell them, and then follow the McDonald's. Would you like fries with that concept? You can adapt this strategy to your own business. So, for example, can you buddy up with a non-competing contact or offer, or to optimize your perceived value? And try not to offer a discount unless the customer has purchased an add-on or a volume purchase. The sixth business growth strategy is to reduce your variable costs. These are the costs which increase as your sales increase, such as direct labor, cost of materials, and sales commission. Implementing better systems to accurately record and charge for time and materials used, as well as implementing strategies to reduce rework and wastage, will help reduce your variable costs. So, for example, deciding whether to have permanent production staff on the payroll or increasing the use of contractors will affect your cost of sales. And buying in bulk to obtain purchase discounts is another tactic to consider. And the final way to grow your business is to reduce your overheads. These are the fixed costs like phone, power, rent, and office supplies. How often do you review your overheads? It should normally be done annually. However, if you haven't already reviewed them as part of your recovery plan, you should do so now. Go through your annual financial statements or your zero reports and identify overheads you could potentially reduce. You may be able to negotiate better terms for your utilities and rent, or reduce the amount of office supplies being used by moving to paperless systems. And while we're on the subject, let's talk about accounting fees. So we're telling you to reduce your costs. So if you think we're a cost, then you should cut us now. But if you want to work with us as a strategic partner in your business, then you need us now more than ever. Think of us as an investment rather than a cost. Our goal is to save you more in tax or help you grow your business profits way more than any extra you will pay in accounting fees. So if you're interested, then ask us about a monthly fixed fee agreement, which tend to increase the value and reduce the risk to both parties. Now, the growth equation is the calculator we use to show how small changes can have a big impact on your business profits and value. By monitoring your KPIs, you can set goals for their improvement. And this calculator shows you the 7 different business growth strategies in action. Sorry, for efficiency during this webinar, we've used screenshots of the calculator, but we can sit down with you and run your numbers to see how the small changes would impact on your business and determine goals for improving your KPIs to achieve that new profit. Then let's have a quick look at the current KPIs and profit for this example company, and then I'll show you the impact that small changes can make on profit and value of the business. So please note that these numbers have all been rounded in case anybody's trying to do the calculations in their head. And also, this example has been annualized. So first of all, this example, the company had 765 customers and a retention rate on average of 85%, which gave them an average of 650 retained customers each year. They on average received 145 inquiries with a conversion rate of 50%, which gives them 73 new customers and a total of 723 customers. So each customer makes on average 1.1 transactions per year, and each transaction has an average value of $1,560. So this equates to 1.24 million of annual sales. That's 650 retained customers plus 73 new ones, 723 customers at 1.1 transactions per annum, and 1,560 value equals total sales. And this company has its cost of sales at 70%, and its overhead expenses are $265,000. So if you work out the gross profit and take off the overheads, it comes up with a net profit of just over $107,000. Now, the value of a business is based on a number of things, but the profitability is one of the key things that determines business value. So to demonstrate the increase in value of a business, we've used a very basic multiplier of 3. So 3 times the profit in this calculator. That's not actually how we value businesses, but it gives a very rough guide. So the current value in this example for the business is just over $320,000, which is 3 times the profit of $107,000. So what changes could this business make to improve its profit and therefore its business value? The first way to grow your business profitability is to increase your customer retention rate. So let's say in this business implements a customer loyalty program and creates a customer Facebook group, and that this results in an increase in their retention rate from 85% to 90%, and now retain an additional 39 customers, so from 650 customers to 689. They receive the same number of inquiries, but due to the impact of COVID-19, their conversion rate drops to 45%, whereas previously it was 50%. This means that they only acquire 65 new customers this year rather than 73 previously, and that means that their total number of customers now is 754, whereas previously it was 723. So that customer loyalty program means that customers now make an average of 1.3 transactions a year rather than 1.1 previously. And they spend an extra $40 per transaction. So instead of spending $1,560, it's now spending $1,600. And their sales have increased from 1.24 to 1.568. The business negotiates better terms with its supplier and improved its inventory processes, and it was able to reduce its cost of sold from 70% down to 65%. And these changes to their KPIs came about as a result of additional coaching from their accountant. And this means that their expenses have increased. And as well as that additional investment in their accountant, there was also an increase in wage costs. So their overhead expenses have increased by $35,000 from $265,000 to $300,000. So this now gives a new profit figure of $248,000, whereas previously it was $107,000. This is an increase of $141,000. And the valuation, if we keep using the very basic ratio of 3 times, this means that the business value is now, instead of $321,000, it's $746,000. So just to recap, the profit has improved by $141,000, from 107 to 248, and the increase in business value has gone up by almost 425,000 from 321 to $746,000. So as you can see, the business only had to make some very small changes, but it more than doubled the net profit. And by focusing on delighting your customers, you retain more of them, and they're more likely to buy more from you more often, and they'll spend more when they do buy from you. So remember, this is just an example per client, and your numbers will be different. So if you wanted to, we could meet up with you to put your numbers into our growth equation calculator to work out what impact small changes could have on your business. Now, as Albert Einstein famously said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over, but expecting different results. We all know that, right? So what do we have to do differently this year? And we always have 4 choices. The first choice is, we do nothing. Say, well, that was a nice webinar. Yeah, I know, I probably should do something different. But, well, change seems a bit too hard, and, she'll be right. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, and hey, yeah, I'm busy, I'm too busy to do anything. Unfortunately, that's what a lot of people are going to say. They're going to do nothing. But the second option is retreating, saying, well, I might try a few things, but then I have a couple of bad days in the office, or we go back into lockdown, or somebody resigns, and I retreat back to the status quo. And hey, I'm still busy, so that's still my excuse. I'm just too busy doing the same old thing. The third option is taking normal amount of actions. So in this situation, you might do a few of the easier things here and there and get some quick cash flow improvement, but you probably won't really fundamentally change your business. So over time, those quick wins that you achieve will evaporate along with the quick cash. And then, of course, what we really want you to do is take the fourth option, which is a massive amount of action. So if you really want to fundamentally change your business, because remember, it's there to serve you and not the other way around, then you're going to need to increase your business profits and perhaps make your business easier to run, or maybe increase the business value so that you can sell it in a few years' time for a lot more money. And as I said before, the old saying is, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. But we know now that that's not possible in the current environment, and things have changed. And if you do what you've always done, it's very, very likely that you'll get less than what you used to get. The information in this educational webinar is general in nature and no substitute for specific tailored advice and support. And there are several ways that we can help you more specifically beyond today's webinar. Firstly, if you don't already have a business plan, then we can work with you to develop yours over a half-day session. And we prefer to do that face-to-face, but we can do it via Zoom if you wish. If you need a bit of accountability to ensure that you're on track to achieving your goals, we can meet with you quarterly, and we can do that either face-to-face or via Zoom to review and reset the goals and actions in your business plan. And we do offer other coaching options as well if you'd like more frequent accountability coaching. We're also offering all attendees the opportunity to complete a planning for growth, business growth action list. This allows you to identify the actions that you'll take to improve your business profits. We'll then have a 15-minute complimentary call or Zoom meeting where we'll review your completed action list and ensure you've identified the key actions relevant to your business and that you have a plan to implement these changes. And finally, we'll offer our clients a 1-hour complimentary meeting each year. And if you're not yet a client, we'll offer you a 1-hour complimentary meeting to establish if we're the right fit for you. With the changing business environment, many people are taking their financial futures into their own hands by starting their own business. This may be a small part-time business while they keep their main job, or it may be a leap into the unknown and full-time self-employment, or perhaps they're buying an existing business. Regardless of how they're doing it, being a business for yourself requires specific knowledge and skills, and the absence of which could cause your business to fail. Q2's Quick Start for Business Success is designed to help people who are relatively new to business better understand the fundamentals of business success. We'll be covering practical things such as business structures, tax, GST, financing, accounting and bookkeeping, pricing and understanding the numbers, and so on. In these live sessions, they're designed to be interactive and great value, and we plan to run them quarterly at Q2HQ starting from the 14th of April 2021 from 4 to 6 p.m. So if you're interested in attending, or you know somebody who should attend because they're relatively new to business, please note this on the feedback survey as you exit the webinar, and we'll be in touch. The cost for these sessions is $250 plus GST for non-clients and $125 plus GST for existing clients. Finally, before we wrap up, I thought I'd share this quote with you, and it's from one of my favorite authors, Jim Rohn. He says that success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals. So please make a simple plan today. Commit to at least 3 actions you'll take as a result of today's webinar. Write them down and give each of them an owner and a completion date. Remember, if you need our help or support, we're here for you. So thanks for making the time to attend this webinar. We appreciate that your time is very valuable. And please do complete the brief exit survey following the session so that we can continuously improve and get your feedback on how we may be able to assist you in the future. And if you would like a copy of these notes or the free action checklist, please complete the feedback survey and tick the relevant boxes, or email info@q2.net.nz. We hope that we've given you plenty of ideas to ponder and some clear next steps for you and your business. So that's all from me today. Have a great day. Thank you.